Welcome back to the Friday Night Sports Show. We're turning our attention to River Murray Netball now. And, well, it was the first weekend of finals in River Murray Netball. Hannah Loller's on the line to tell me all about it because just looking at the scores, it looks like it was a very exciting weekend. Welcome, Hannah. How are you?
Yeah, it was 2 action-packed days of netball across the River Murray, and it was, some great games were had across, at Jervois and at Mypolonga where we all played.
Absolutely. Well, let's start off with the qualifying final last Saturday. So, top 2 teams, just the 1 loss each for the season. So we knew it was going to be a very, very tight game, and that it was. It was the Imperials prevailing by just 3 goals, 46-43. So Mypo forced to go the long way if they're going to make it through to the grand final, but the Imperials are already there after that win.
They certainly are, and I had the pleasure of scoring this game, so I had nice courtside viewing and got to see really a game of ebbs and flows. So Imps hit the court with huge intensity and got the first 6 goals. You know, that was an impressive start. It took Mypo that little bit longer to settle, but they pegged back 3 of those. Quarter time, it was 12-9. Then the next quarter, Mypo again sort of just pegged back and it was all tied up at half time. But Imps just find a way and managed to sort of get out by 2 and then 3 goals at the end. And from my courtside viewing, one of the key difference and the key player I think who Imps really got their absolute maximum out of on Saturday was Kayla Delamole. She's a defender and she's just so good to watch. She intercepts, she reads play, she's athletic, she rebounds well. And I think that's Imp's sort of danger player on the court. The others are all really even and consistent. Reliable players, but she stood out. And Mypo's got, they didn't have, I wouldn't say their complete full strength team on the court. They've had a bit of an injury with Kate Tucker, but she had a bit of a calf and she came on just at the end of the last quarter along with their really tall shooter, Charlie Willis, to try and mix it up, and they certainly made a difference when they came on. It got away by more than, I think they were out to about 6 or 7 and they pegged it back, but too late to make a difference. So, Imps march on and make their way through to, I don't know, probably don't know what the history books are, but it's at least 10 grand finals in a row. It could be 20, who would know? Impressive club.
Far out, 10 grand finals, possibly 20 in a row. That is a very, very good track record. We might have to do a bit of research before we do our preview of the grand final next week, but that is remarkable. So well done to the Imps, and it's a good rivalry brewing. Imps won the first meeting by 4, Mypo won the next one by 7, and like we said, they didn't lose to anyone else all year, just the 1 loss each. So very big rivalry. There is one other challenger, and it's a bit of a smoky. It's the Mallee Storm after they dominated Mannum in the elimination final, 53-30. So they'll be marching on and playing Mypo for a spot in the grand final next weekend.
They will, and I think this is the really fabulous thing about our association this year. And I think even on Saturday after losing that game, Mypo would have thought, that's okay, don't need to, if we can win a grand final, we'll get them next time we play them. But there's a big but, and the but is that they've actually got to get to play them again. And even though Mypo, I think they would have gone and watched the game on Sunday, and I think they'll be training that little bit harder because Storm were really impressive on the court, and I think they controlled the game after about the first 5 minutes. They didn't look like losing. And it was a bit of a windy day. It was a bit gusty at Mypo. So it's not a great day for shooting, but Mannum was struggling to get their goals in. And it's hard to know if it was the gusty weather or just the really good defensive pressure that was applied by Storm. Storm's coach is actually a playing coach, Salem Blake, and she is the goal defence, and she's looking fitter than I've ever seen her look and real spring in her step. and really enjoying bringing what the best of the Mallee has to the River Murray and competing on that stage. So she was in the goal circle defending with Maddie Farley, and they're both tall, so that's, great height and experience. They're making a good combination. Storm, and I think we've talked about this girl before, Tennille Gray. She's an addition to the team sort of midway through the season. She plays Premier League down in Adelaide as well. And her and Abby Pake are both tall shooters and goalies, and just Tennille was really impressive to watch, and they're combining better each week. Poor Mannum defenders had a really tough gig there, and they were down, missing Tracy Dabinet, and Kelly McGorman tried her heart out along with Gemma Woolard and Natasha Vivian, and they had their opportunities. It wasn't that Storm were 100% on with their goals, but Tennille has this great way of muscling her way in after shooting to be ready for a rebound. And I think I'd encourage all young shooters to get to the courts on Saturday and watch how she does it, because I think you can learn a lot from watching players who have played at that higher level. But my big shout out for Sunday's match was a young player, Jessica Kerr. She was in wing attack. She's only 16 for the Storm. She also plays Inters 1, the junior comp, and won the best and fairest for that across the association on Monday night. And she's just quick, she's sure-footed, really strong passing, and is working really hard to improve her game and taking opportunities that she gets. So I think a 16-year-old, and she's played 2 years of A grade in the Mallee, and coming into the River Murray, just really showing that the top of the Mallee clubs were always going to be able to compete well in River Murray. It was probably, the depth that can drop away, but seeing these clubs combine and come in and be strong, is a real reward for all those people behind the scenes who've worked hard to keep sport going with the new clubs coming in.
Yeah, you're right. Really good to see the Mallee Storm getting through after... Yeah, obviously the new look league this year with Mallee entering the league and the amalgamation, and good to see them getting through. So they are playing Mypo this weekend, tomorrow in fact at 3:20 at the Imperial Netball Club, and they've had some really good games this year. They haven't beaten Mypo yet. It was Mypo by 16 and then Mypo by 12. So they haven't quite been able to match it with them, but we didn't tip them to win by 23 against Mannum, so you never know. They're certainly in the mix.
Oh, Dan, I have sat for about since Sunday night. I have reflected on who am I going to pick tonight. And before we got online and did this report, I'm still sitting here unsure which way to go, because a week ago I would have told you Mypo, if they were to lose their final against Imps, will win the next one and they'll be there. On paper, it would appear like this is Mypo's game. As you say, they've won the last two. They are impressive to watch on the court. But there's just some little bit of magic that's happening in the Mallee. The Storm they're not going to go away in a hurry. So I think Mypo can't do what they did last week and not hit the court with intensity. I don't think they can, give a 6-goal lead. Again, they're going to have to be a bit more switched on. I think they will probably play a different lineup. I think they will probably have Kate Tucker back. They tested her calf, and I think she'll be on the court this week. The really intriguing positional changes I'm looking at Storm, because they played a great game against Mannum, but, who they'll put on Stacey Hines. So Mypo's got this amazing mid-court. They've got Shannon Green in wing defence, Stacey Hine in wing attack, and Kelly Ottman in centre. And I think Storm might have to think about what combination they use to minimise the impact of that mid-court, because that mid-court plays an amazing defensive zone and runs a quick middle. I think each end of the court will take care of itself. And I'm going to tip Storm in upset by about 2.
All right, the tip is in. I thought we were dangerously close to a bit of fence sitting there, but the tip is in, which is good because, as you know, we do not allow fence sitting on the Friday night sports show. But the tip is in for the Storm. It's going to be a cracking game. I can't wait to see how it plays out. We'll see what happens. We'll see who gets the right to play the Imperials in the grand final. Hannah, thank you for giving us all that info. Can't wait to see how it goes this weekend. Enjoy the netball. We'll chat to you next week.
Thanks, Dan. See ya.